What's going on, guys? Welcome to Total Football, where we discuss everything football. And yo, as I said before, big up for everyone that's been tuning into the live streams, 12 o'clock midday and 9 p.m. twice a day. Bruv, like, we're getting each other through these peak times, and it's peak bloody times. So big up everyone that's supporting that. Also, the link for my Twitch is gonna be in the description below. Make sure you follow that, just so I can bring you the videos, the streams, but with some gaming noise, because YouTube been handing out copyright strikes left, right, and center, and I'm not trying to get my YouTube taken down. It's my only stream of income at the moment, bruv, with everything that's going on with Rona. You get me? So big up, guys, for your support, and let's get into your questions. The first one is from Brandon Halstead 98, and he says, name 4 footballers that meant a lot in your life and why. All right, first one is R9 for sure, because for me, that he was the first striker that I looked at and I wanted to be like, bruv. Like, for me, everything about him, from just the Nike Brazilian wave, do you know what I mean? Like the adverts, the football boots, the way he dribbled, the nutmegs, the step overs. Like, I played up front, and everything about R9 I just wanted to emulate. Like, everything from the dribbling, the close control, even like the little toe pump finish and stuff like that he would do. Do you know what I mean? He would always step over, go to the left, and that is something that I do in football, and I have done like mostly my whole career. Like, while I was playing, is that the R9 step over out onto the left foot, brother, and score bare goals like that. And he scored bare goals like that. And there were just certain parts of my game that literally, him and Ronaldinho, who's my second player, I used to just sit and watch videos of them for hours. Before Scout Nation and all them things, man used to be sitting there watching videos. And I remember I had, like, back in the day, like, man had LimeWire and that, and I used to download videos of them, man, compilations, and I used to have it on my, what was that old Sega handheld thing? I can't remember what it's called, the black one. And on the way to my football matches, when I used to play in Sweden and that, man used to watch videos of Ronaldinho and R9 on the way to my games. That was how I prepared for my matches, was watching them, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Them, man, were a massive inspiration, bruv. The whole Brazilian wave, the whole Nike adverts, and then onto Ronaldinho, the entertainment that came in with playing football. It wasn't just about winning and playing well. It was about playing with a smile on your face and entertaining. And that's, I believe, football is a game, innit? And you play games to win, but you play games for enjoyment, innit? So I believe a game of football should be played with enjoyment in mind. It should entertain the fans. That's why I hate Mourinho's brand of football. That's why I hate Ollie's brand of football, because I believe, yeah, that football is entertainment. I believe it's about playing for the love of the game, and players should look like they're enjoying themselves when they're on the pitch. Ronaldinho did that, bruv. You know what I mean? From no-look passes to elasticos to Rabonas to everything, bruv. Like, I believe that's how football is meant to be played, innit? And Ronaldinho, like, merged the street freestyle football, yeah, with big stadium football, Champions League, World Cup football, bruv. And it's never been done since, and it may never be done again. The closest thing to Ronaldinho now is Neymar, and Neymar's nowhere near him in terms of, like, the skill and stuff like that man has. It's a joke, fam. Like, the ball is literally an extension to his body. So them two just made me love football like another way, innit? And I'd follow the Brazilian football team. I had my Brazilian international jerseys. I had a few of them, bruv, because I needed the R9 one, I needed the Ronaldinho one. Like, the love I had for those guys in terms of how much they made me enjoy football, it's different, innit? And then Eric Cantona, number 3, Manchester United legend, my favourite Manchester United player ever. The reason why I gravitated heavily towards the club, because even though my uncle supported Manchester United and he said, yo, and he got me to watch them, if I didn't find a player that I could identify with, I wouldn't have supported them, innit? I would have ended up supporting Tottenham like my brother. So it's just one of them ones where, like, Eric, absolute maverick of a footballer. No one couldn't tell him nothing. Do you know what I mean? And I can relate to that. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like he's a strong-minded character. That was his personality, and he just had his way of playing, and the people around him just had to adapt to him, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And he was an absolute genius. So Eric Cantona, and last, Ian Wright, for sure. I think Ian Wright, for me, was like my first experience of having Mandem on the football pitch. Now, when I look at United, I call them Mandem United. There's bare black man, do you know what I mean, that had similar upbringings to me, just out here balling, bruv. When you look at Wan-Bissaka, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba, do you know what I mean? They're just Mandem, fam. And then if Sancho comes in, that's another Mandem to add to Mandem, fam. Mason Greenwood, Mandem. It's Mandem everywhere. Axel, Mandem. Like, that's just how it is. So Ian Wright was the first guy that I looked at, and I was like, bruv, like, he's from ends like me. He started football late, and he's just raw and he's rugged with it. Do you know what I mean? He's Mandem. Andy Cole was the same as well. But Ian Wright was just real Mandem. Bogle on the pitch and them things there. Like, I could relate to Wrighty. Do you know what I mean? And he spoke the way I spoke as well. Do you know what I mean? He's from London like me as well. Obviously, Coley is from Notts. And Coley's hood with it as well. But, do you know what I mean? Wrighty was the first one that I identified with like that. Andy Cole would have been a close fourth. Do you know what I mean? But Wrighty just shaded it. Big up for that question, guys. Abdullah 1239 bare numbers. Why does Giroud get picked for France over Martial or Lacazette? The reason why Giroud gets picked ahead of them is because of the system, bro. When I say to man, yeah, like certain man are just tailor-made for certain systems, just like I believe that the system at Manchester City makes Sterling look better than he is, because I don't think Sterling's a world-class footballer, but he put up world-class numbers last season because he was in a great system that was fluid and it worked. But I believe if you put him in this Manchester United team, his numbers are nowhere near that. Do you know what I mean? The same with Kevin De Bruyne. I believe if he's in this Manchester United midfield, and instead of Pogba, and Pogba's in the City midfield, Pogba's numbers would be so far clear of De Bruyne's. De Bruyne's numbers would go down and Pogba's numbers would go up, hence where the gap would be. Giroud is the target man. He's the pivot up front. And Benzema would be that guy if not for the politics at France. Everyone knows why Deschamps ain't picking Benzema. So because of the politics, Giroud is the only guy that can do that job. That's why he's playing. And he does deserve to be there ahead of them, man, because he's pivotal to how they play. As much as Pogba and Matuidi and like Griezmann, all these men, they can build up and do the nice interplay and all that, but sometimes they need an outlet. Sometimes they need a focal point. Martial still developing into that focal point that Karim Benzema already is. And Benzema had to develop into that, because when Benzema first went to Real Madrid, he wasn't like that. You know what I mean? He was a young, pacey, skillful striker that scored good goals, but he was not a focal point, a target man as such. Do you know what I mean? He's a mobile target man, and that came into his game later on. So I think that Martial's still learning that role. So while he's learning that role, I do think he should be in the France squad, but I understand why Giroud is picked ahead of him. And as for Lacazette, bruv, he's not even on form for Arsenal, so there's no argument for him to be in the French team. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. And this one is from C2 Lanks, and it says Drogba or Henry. Bruv, what is the question? If the question is who is a better finisher, then maybe you could argue Didier Drogba. You could argue that if you want to argue that. But if it's who's the better footballer, bruv, Thierry Henry by an absolute landslide. I saw stats out there and they're saying, yeah, Henry only scored in one big game or something like that, one final or something like that. Cool. I seen that Drogba scored like 11 in 11 finals or something. Cool. But when you look at Drogba's goal record per season, it's not good, bruv. It's not good. Like, Pogba was barely Drogba wasn't even scoring 20 goals a season on average, bruv. as a striker, as a main striker for Chelsea. That's not great, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? He wasn't prolific, bro. He wasn't prolific. He was just a good goal scorer and he was clutch. But if the argument is Drogba more clutch than Henry, then we could say, yes, he is probably, just by the numbers, innit? But in terms of all-around game, Henry was a better dribbler. He was a better, for me, he could shoot better than Drogba. Like, Drogba would clap the ball hard, even the free kicks, bruv. He man didn't know where they were going. And Drogba just looked a bit messy, bruv. Like, his touch and everything was just mad, erratic, and he was just a flat-track bully, essentially. He was Lukaku before Lukaku. Do you know what I mean? That's what he was. Like, he relied heavily on service to score goals, bruv. Whereas Henry was scoring goals on his own, blood. Do you know what I mean? So, I just don't... Yeah, like, to me, there's no comparison, bruv. Like, Henry's clear of Drogba, blood. Clear of him. But because Drogba won a bag of trophies in a short space of time with Chelsea, and also he scored a lot of important goals, like he scored in the Europa League final, I think. I don't know if he got a Champions League final goal. Could have as well. Like, the guy, he was a dangerous striker, innit? But I think that this thing's been blown out of proportion. I think, yeah, that man don't need to disrespect Henry like that, innit? But comparing him to Drogba, bruv. Because Drogba was a good player in that. But I just think, bruv, in football, sometimes just do the eye test, innit? Forget the numbers. There's levels to this football thing, bruv. And Thierry is clear of man, bruv. Like, Thierry Henry is the only striker, like, probably in Premier League history, yeah, that when my team was playing their team, I was legit scared of. I wasn't scared of Harry Kane. I don't watch Man City and think, oh, God, bro, I'm scared of Aguero. I rate Aguero, but I'm not scared of him. I was genuinely like, belly's hurting, Henry's playing, blood. He's got the gloves on, fam. That's what it was. That's what it was. When man saw the long sleeve and the gloves, yeah, and the socks pulled up over his knees, fam, and the vapors, you knew it was going to be a long flipping night, blood. That is what I'm talking about. No other strikers instilled that kind of fear into man in the history of the Premier League. For that alone, man can't even mention Drogba in the same breath as man. Henry's levels. Let me know what you think in the comment section, guys. And last but not least, Romario, another bad boy baller, _ 1403. Where does Miroslav Klose rank amongst the best, blood? You know the mad thing about Miroslav Klose, yeah, is because when he broke R9's World Cup record, I wanted to cry, blood, because I felt like football died that day. I'm not gonna lie, innit? Like, when it comes to football, I just feel like Miroslav Klose's name should not be in the same conversation as R9's, bruv, because he ain't got nowhere near the ability. He was a good finisher, also was in a good team as well. That German team, he had so many good players around him that he just literally just needed to finish the moves. And he done that well, but yeah, that's what he was. He was a good finisher, bruv. But there's loads of players in the era before him, or even in that era, that were good finishers, if not better finishers than him, and they don't have that World Cup record. So I think it was a case of him having a very good supporting act and him being a competent finisher more than him being like an amazing striker, because bruv, Miroslav Klose weren't all that. Like, he wasn't, but he was just good at what he was good at. It's the same with Pippo Inzaghi. Man can't tell me he was a wavy baller. He wasn't. But man knew where the goal was. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think Miroslav Klose was just a tap-in merchant, mate. Like, that's all he was. I don't know what else to say. It's mad that he's down in history now. It's amazing for him. But for me, a bit of it is like, oh, you know what I mean? Man overtook R9. Man, I see a Miroslav Klose. And it's all underwhelming, innit? Like, it's just not sexy, bruv. I guess that's what man is saying about the whole Michael Carrick thing. Like, it's not sexy, innit? The Carrick thing. Like, Carrick, world class. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if he was Italian or something like that, and he had like a Colaccini name or something like that, man would be getting gassed, bruv. Saying that he's one of the best in the world. Look at Jorginho, bruv. Jorginho made a name off doing what Michael Carrick's been doing with his eyes closed for flipping over a decade, bruv. But because man's got the Brazilian name and he was playing in Italy, it was all sexy and that. Whereas Carrick is just all like Michael Carrick, bruv. His middle name is probably James or something, you know, like that. Michael James Carrick or Michael Ian or something. You know them ones, man like Ian, fam. So that's just all it is, guys. Like Miroslav Klose, nah. Yeah, I mean, say like Mario Gomez, meh. All them kind of strikers, like, meh. Who cares, bruv? Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And that was your Total Football. Make sure you smash the like. I'm gonna leave the link for my Twitch, my and all my other socials. Make sure you go down there. Follow me if you haven't already. And obviously smash the like button. I'm gonna make sure I keep coming with your Total Football every week because you've requested it. Obviously during lockdown, man, them are looking for more material, so I'm gonna keep putting them out. And make sure you go and catch up on my previous streams as well. Peace.